Well, you guys are here already, so fuck it.
He flipped the table. We leave, right? We all leave in a hurry, in a fucking rush.
Gold,
now
Lalo.
we would end up in prison for doing shit like that.
Yeah, the Karens out there will call the cops.
Yeah. What do you guys think? And then like, yeah, fuck it. This sounds great. Like, let's do it.
The way my mentor would put it, what are your non-negotiables? And now we're gonna get into our main topic tonight.
Yeah.
An interesting one for you guys tonight.
And if any brewers out there interested in somebody karate chopping their glasses, I will try and attend to that one.
Encore or what?
Okay, our topic for tonight is what? Our first time. Our first time. It's kind of embarrassing, huh?
Is it?
I mean,
First time what? First time riding a bike?
negative.
No. First time driving a car?
The first time I'm going to school?
Negative.
No.
I mean,
First time
I
tying my
guess-
shoes.
I guess we can go that route if you guys want.
First time trying a
all
beer?
First times.
First time trying a beer?
Oh, that's a good one too.
Oh, that's a good one.
First time too. But first time, I guess. I mean, when you think first time, you automatically think when you lost your virginity.
Oh, we're talking about that.
Yeah, first time you popped a little boner. You remember that time?
Nah, you know what? I don't remember my first time popping a boner.
Really?
I mean, I've popped so many in my lifetime. I can't really remember when was my first time popping one.
As a general dude would.
Yeah, no,
it just
it's not like
comes
I was like, oh, I'm gonna remember this date for sure. No, I don't remember the first time.
Oh, I remember the date.
No,
No, but I remember.
I don't even remember how
first-
old I was the first time.
I'm
pretty
sure
sure I
it's
was-
not my first, but I remember when I was like in tune to my first little pop boner. Not actually
What do you mean when you're in tune?
where I can remember it.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm sure previous to me remembering it happened, we all pitch a tent in the morning.
So before we get into the first time where we lost our virginity, go ahead. Enlighten us on the first time you remember being in sync
in tune with your
in tune with your
hormones.
body and your hormones.
with your body. And I'm sure I was pitching a tent, a small little tent, early in my early years.
I'm glad you're being honest.
Hey, I mean, I'm not gonna say it. I'm huge. I got a big one, and I pitch a big tent.
First time I heard him say this shit. I'm learning like you guys.
Same here.
Like I never heard Jose say this kind of shit before.
But wait, hold on, because
No.
fuck that. I've never been like, oh, I got a big one.
Well, we never talk about it.
Oh yeah,
We don't talk
never
about our cocks.
did.
Yeah.
Never talk about size.
This is definitely gonna be a yeah.
This is
Of
gonna be
course.
a light-hearted, fun conversation that we're gonna get into.
It's gonna be fun.
We're gonna be learning a lot about each other tonight.
We've been getting heavy lately, and now
Oh,
we'll be a little vulgar,
A
a
little
little crazy.
vulgar. That's okay though. It's all right. It's locker room talk.
Yeah.
So
You
if
know.
we're starting off at that level, then what was your first time like jerking off? I guess
All right. So
when you realize, oh, that's what it's for.
yeah, okay.
'Cause,
That-
I mean,
that's a better question.
know?
What is this for?
Because I thought for a long time I thought I was just for taking a piss. That
No.
was it.
When I stand at attention for the first time and I realized it, I don't know. I remember feeling something, and I remember like it's a different sensation. I never did anything with it because I didn't know what to do with it, but I do remember a different sensation in that area where it's like I don't have to urinate. I don't have to pee. And it's not going away. Now that I know, it was like taking Viagra, and it just stand to attention for no reason. Nowadays, if that does that, you need to call a doctor, and you need to consult somebody, because it's not supposed to be up for that long.
I mean, if you're taking Viagra or if it's naturally staying up for that long.
I was standing at attention for that long at a young age.
Naturally.
Well, what's the young age?
I wanna
like
say
Del
like-
Taco delivery guy age, or 12, or
Before then,
we're tying it in.
I want to say like 10 or 11 when I realized
Wow.
something was going on.
Damn, at 10, 11, I think I was still like just playing fucking video games and playing outside.
No,
Wasn't
see,
really thinking about all that
my
shit.
mind
What-
was
what grade is
somewhere else.
What grade is 10, 11?
10 or 11. Okay, so further into it, I lost my virginity at 12. So maybe at 10 or 11, I was maybe in 7th grade, maybe 6th, 7th grade.
Okay. Yeah,
Sounds
that's
about
all right.
right.
Sounds all right.
So then I lost my virginity. Then okay. So I figured out what's going on. Whatever. It felt different. Something was happening. I continued to play video games, play card games, riding my bike around town, whatever. Never really thought about it. Then comes 12 years old, and I had a girlfriend. Probably my first like girlfriend.
Yeah.
Later on into our relationship, we decided to mess around and we decided to explore. And I lost my virginity at 12 years old. 12 years old.
Wow.
I don't know what anybody's thinking at 12 years old, but
I wasn't thinking that.
apparently I wasn't thinking
I mean, I was
Pokemon.
into girls, but I wasn't like.
Oh, no, I was into girls.
Yeah, I could
so,
see
so then I realized after then, okay, this is good. This feels good. So video games and Pokemon cards and Pogs. We were into Pogs back then.
Oh yeah, I remember Pogs.
That wasn't in my mind state. By then I was like, oh, okay, we need to do this more often. And I had a girlfriend, so it was like, we can keep doing this. Like, it's just me and you now, so I don't have to.
But the strange part is, the interesting part is that how the hell were you guys able to get away with that at that young of an age? Like, what the hell? Where were you guys at? Like, where would you guys go to do that?
We were at her house because
What-
we both had parents that worked.
Oh, okay. So parents weren't really home.
Yeah, so after school, the parents were still at work. So we had a window frame, probably what, an hour maybe.
Well, plus
An
parents.
hour
I mean,
and
at
a
that
half.
age, I think that's fucking a lot of time.
That's a hell of a lot of time. You could do a lot in an hour.
Well, plus parents at that age, when their kids are that age, they're not thinking like, oh, they're gonna be fucking around.
Yeah,
Right.
I need to hurry up and get home.
Yeah.
No one's thinking about that. So I mean, yeah. I mean, shit. Yeah, like I said, you can get away with a lot in an hour and a half, without even your parents thinking of anything. And then on top of that, when they do get there, it's like I was the good guy, I guess. That was like, they didn't even have to think about like, you're not fucking around with my daughter.
You were
The good guy.
You're the good guy.
The good guy. Whereas like, I'm not gonna play around and show you that, yeah, we are messing around. Honestly, I was a gentleman, and I was a gentleman at a young age, so it's like parents didn't think twice about, maybe I should call off early and clock out early so I can be here to see what you're doing.
But they knew you guys were dating or going out, and you were at
Yeah.
home with
Oh
them.
yeah. We were high school sweethearts. I mean, we're not
Wait,
together
You guys are
now.
junior
but
high sweethearts.
junior high sweethearts.
They
Because it
figured
was a
you,
summer entering into high school.
so they figured you guys were sitting at home, holding hands, maybe watching a movie,
Probably watching a movie.
playing video games or whatever.
Yeah, maybe cooking some hot dogs or top ramen or something like that. Like, I don't know.
Studying together, doing homework.
No, I definitely.
No,
wasn't doing
I
homework.
mean, parents' side, like,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
I don't know. That's a good.
But that is like interesting. Like, I definitely wouldn't have thought at that age. Like, 'cause like I said, at that age, I wasn't. I think the most I was thinking about was like maybe kissing a girl or holding her hand. Yeah, I was a late bloomer when it came to that. Like, my level of progression with like.
When it came to that age, I just wanted to like be like boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yeah, that was.
But like I didn't know what that entailed. I didn't know like
Oh, of course.
sexually. I knew what like,
I didn't tell a lot.
and it's funny because you think like when you're that young. I remember seeing like older girls and being like, oh my god, if you can lock her down, like that could be
Yeah.
your wife. Like I remember thinking like long term, like, oh, she's hot,
Mhm.
keep her. Like I you almost wanted to collect women at that age. Like you're like, oh, she's definitely popular, she's hot. That's the kind of girl you want.
Yeah.
So
Of
like
course.
I didn't know what I would even do with that kind of girl.
Yeah.
I just knew that like I was attracted.
Yeah.
I was very attracted,
Mhm.
but I didn't know like, oh, I'm gonna get her naked later.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't in my mind.
That was in my mind, and I was
See,
gonna do it.
And that's why the difference. You from an early age, you were like,
I was
Oh,
in two.
okay,
I guess.
yeah.
I was in two.
And I remember going to junior high and just thinking like, oh, she's hot. It'd be cool just to be her boyfriend.
Yeah.
Like that's it. Like, you might do maybe a little kissing here and there, but like you didn't think anything, or I didn't. I know a lot of people do, but I didn't think anything about like doing anything sexual. I didn't even know what that entailed. At that age.
Really?
Like I knew what sex was, right?
Yeah.
At that age, I knew what sex was, but I didn't think like I was ready for that at that age.
Yeah.
I would see them and think like, oh, okay, I want to be their boyfriend. I want to hold hands. I want to kiss them. And I just want them to be mine.
Yeah.
I just knew those things.
To be able to walk around school, like saying, this is my girlfriend.
Showing off
and
and
holding their hands and hugging. And
Holding hands was a big deal.
yeah, it was. I mean, at least for us, it was.
For me and you, it
Yeah,
was a
it
big
was,
deal.
definitely.
I mean, holding hands got me to stand at attention.
Yes. No, definitely in junior high, you did a lot of shit. Like we used to play nervous,
Yeah, I'm
in
very
junior
nervous.
high.
Yeah.
right? But you didn't really want them to grab you. Like you didn't like
You did, but
you did, but you didn't like what I didn't think past that.
You guys gave in at nervous.
there was times, yeah, because it would start getting underneath the clothes and like, or just down in the groin area where like, oh shit, like, yeah, you would get nervous.
Oh my god!
I would get nervous.
I'm a hoe.
At that age, if I can feel your titty,
Yeah.
I was like highlight of my life. Right
Yeah.
now.
And I had a situation like that too, where we were playing nervous. We were in the school bus, and I was sitting next to the girl, and she literally, I was starting off low, starting grabbing her thigh and stuff, and then she's like, I was going too slow for her, so she straight up grabbed my hand and just moved it up to her breast, and I was like, oh my god! I swear, I think I just lost it. I was like, oh shit! All right, I got nervous.
He called nervous.
I was like, okay, I'm nervous. Like
He called nervous.
I mean, yeah. Like the girl was like, no, like, what are you doing? Like, you're taking too long. I'm over here like, oh my God, like
See, me and you on the same page. I didn't do that, but I know there was people like Jose that would have been like sucking on the titty.
yeah, already like
like
all
already
out.
all out on it.
I was done. I was already fucking on the school bus.
Yeah.
I was cool with like a titty flick. If I flicked your titty, like I'd be like,
That was it.
Yeah.
guys, I flicked the titty.
Somebody was like nervous or like truth or dare, but it was always dare, right?
Of course, it's never truth.
Yeah.
Who cares about truth?
We have no truths at
No.
that age.
Girls wanted the truth, but we didn't. We wanted
No.
the dare.
So I mean, many games like that where it pushed us to go beyond our like comfort zones and stuff, basically, and introduce us to more of a sexual.
Yeah, it opened you up to it.
Yeah, but
So-
it was like small increments at a time.
So how did you feel? How did you feel about the actual first time? Like for me, honestly, I know guys are like, "Oh, I was nerve wracked and I didn't know what to do." And I don't know if we were thinking about our size back in the day, but what if I'm not big enough? What if I don't please her? What ifs? It was a lot of what ifs.
Right.
My first time, I never experienced that. I was never nervous. I was never like, what ifs. But how did you feel when you're first inserted?
I mean, obviously, it feels fucking amazing, but
yeah, of course.
Well, if you've ever heard J. Cole's song,
Well, I know what you're talking about.
it's not adolescent, but he has a song where it's like, I ain't never done this before.
oh yeah.
But that was a huge, like, now thinking back, like, okay, everybody's pretending, right? Like, because you don't know. Number one, I was thinking about size back then.
No.
Like, that wasn't a thing that popped in my head. I just thought, this is what I got. She's got something else. This got to work together, right?
Yes.
So, like, you don't really play that into factor too much. I mean, it'd be different, but we're the older brothers too.
Yeah.
So, like, we didn't have an example of like, oh, you got to have chicks and smash them and this and that.
You gotta have to think about it and do
Right.
it on your own.
Right, but that was good. That was a good song because it was about two kids who were pretending,
Yeah.
right? They both felt pressure to be fucking ultimate everything. But I will say, for me, by the time I lost my virginity, I had been secretly downloading porn.
I think like all of us.
Like on LimeWire and all those fucking
Yeah.
sites, right? Where you downloaded porn and like anything you can get was great, right? Any porn you can get was fine. So I had that in my head already going into like losing my virginity because I think me and Alex both lost our virginity. I lost my virginity probably, I think it was probably 10th grade somewhere around there.
Yeah.
So it was
you were
later.
a year before I did.
Yeah. So like, I was, I mean, I always loved to flirt with chicks. Like I always was like with girls, I was always like,
that stuck with
captivated.
You
I was
that
always
stuck to me
captivated with it.
To early, I mean, to later on years. Because
Well-
you were always like that too. Before you were in a relationship, you were always flirty.
Well, yeah.
You never. I don't know. I don't know if you pursued, but you were always flirty.
Well,
with
I always
chicks.
liked to me, I always liked the interaction, the dance with women. Like I always liked that emotional, verbal, like play with women. That was always something I enjoyed. Just being friendly and flirty and kind of playing that game. I could, you know, before I got to that level where I was, you know, having sex, I was always like, I always wanted them to like me. And I was always interacting with them in a way that they would typically find, like, just enjoy talking to me, you know,
Yeah.
at the very least. So like, I never really was into it too much to the point where like, I was never pushing it too hard. I always liked that back and forth between the man and the woman.
Yeah.
Like that little chase, the little hunt, the little back and forth, the flirting, the flirtatiousness of it all. So that's why I'm saying like that song is great because like before and because we're kind of late bloomers, I always just enjoyed a lot of that growing up. Like so from a young age, like you, I just wasn't having sex from 12, you know? But from that point on, I was always like, I always wanted the girl, the hottest girl in the room, I always wanted her attention.
Yeah.
So like I would always try to do things that would gain her attention, or I would talk to her, I'd flirt and do, you know, things like that. And it's easy in high school and it's easy in junior high to kind of find the hot chick and kind of go with that. But I was never to your point, I was never worried about like size or like, is she going to be satisfied? Because when you're that young, you're not really thinking about satisfaction. You're not thinking about like laying it down.
No.
Like you're just thinking like, okay, we're going to have sex. Like you're just not even that.
No.
But that's later, right?
Yeah.
You're not thinking about that kind of stuff. So J. Cole's song is a great song because it always resonates with me because I'm like, fuck, that's how I was at a young age.
That's the first time song. Like
Right.
that's-
Where we all seem like, because we get we're so flirtatious and we're so like confident at times where we seem like it, where it looks like we've done it so many times, but obviously we're so brand new to it. We don't know what the hell's going on. So we're just as nervous as the other person because I don't know what I'm doing, but we're going to figure this out together. But at the same time, you're trying to put up a front and maybe act like,
you know what you're doing.
yeah, like you're trying to act cool,
I know what I'm
trying to act
doing.
relaxed, like
Come on, girl. I
even
got
though
you.
and inside you're freaking out, like fuck, like oh my god,
You're
like,
nervous.
yeah, definitely. And I think what you were saying is like we were, at least for me, it was like I was so like my where I wanted to be was like the what we know now as foreplay, right? It's like just the kissing on the neck, hickeys, and like maybe rubbing the titty and or putting your hand down her pants and like playing around down there, you know, all that. It's like that was like where I felt comfort and like I lit for that. Like, oh yeah, that was fun. But again, like obviously with sex in the back of your head, and then obviously like that somewhat of a pressure from your friends because they're like, oh, you know, everybody's saying, oh, I slept, oh, I've had sex, and you realize, oh shit, I haven't had sex yet. But who knows? Probably half of those guys are fucking like lying.
Yeah.
They never had sex, but they always say, oh yeah, I've had sex. So you're over here thinking like, fuck, I haven't yet. Like
that one up. They were trying to do that one up.
So you're like, damn, like I'm over here like still a virgin. Everybody else is pretty much had sex with everybody. And
me and Alex literally started a bet. We're like, okay,
we did.
We were gonna start like we didn't do it, but we were gonna start like a jar where it's like, okay, we're gonna put money into this jar, and whoever has sex first wins this fucking money. And we did that, and it wasn't very long. Like it wasn't like it was from junior high. I've known him since 3rd grade.
Yeah.
It wasn't until we got into high school that we even said like, okay, well, it's a fucking. It wasn't a race, but we were like, well, who's gonna lose it first?
Yeah.
It wasn't a race, and we went our whole life through junior high and everything. And we weren't like, it was never like our forethought. Like, okay, this is what I have to have sex with somebody. It just like I said, we're late bloomers. It's not that we can't talk to women, or it's not none of those reasons. It's not because we can't do it. It's just that it wasn't a priority for us, which is weird looking back, but it's not that weird.
It's not that weird.
It's not that weird.
At that age, nobody should probably even think about.
It shouldn't be a priority, at least, right?
Yeah, and it's something, I guess, some screws are loose in my head where I was like, it is a priority. And I did lose it at that age. But I think before then, and even after then, I had a relationship in between the one that I lost it and then further on where nothing happened, but everything happened, if that makes sense.
Right.
Well, elaborate.
Where there was no penetration, but there was tons of foreplay. And there was tons of public foreplay where we would be in the summertime, as kids are in the pools or in the jacuzzis or wherever, where there's no parental supervision. There was a lot of bumping and grinding, but there was no insertion. It was just like the girl that I was with at that time, it was just like a bunch of foreplay, but nothing ever happened.
It was literally bumping uglies.
Pretty much, yeah. Where nothing came out, nothing went in, and it was just a bunch of foreplay.
But somehow it's still satisfying.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
And then that same one where if it wasn't in the jacuzzi or whatever, it would be we were supposed to be watching a movie or TV in the bed, but there would be a lot of touching and kissing and foreplay.
Right.
But there would never be anything further than that. Or it was like, I think that was the first time I actually felt another woman's downstairs area.
Oh, now you want to be like PG-13 now.
It was actually where I explored it and felt it and felt what was going on down there. That was the first time because it was all just foreplay.
Yeah.
There was nothing actually inserted where, my fingers, but, it was the first time I actually felt it and actually knew what was going on down there. And then, shit, that must have been, fuck, I don't know.
How old were you then?
Probably 13, 14.
So it was right before you had sex.
It was right after I had sex.
Okay.
So you had sex and then you started.
And then I started playing around.
See, then you went like the opposite.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
I remember I started playing around first before I started having sex.
I hit home base before I even started hitting first, second, third.
Damn.
I know. It was opposite.
See, I was like
I was all over
fucking around first for a while and then second and third. Like I was there in that area for a while, like before I even. And like, I was happy there too. Like,
well, you know what's funny? I when I was 9 years old, I was 9 or 10. My relationships at that point came down to like my mom's friends' daughters, right? That's my exposure to women at that point. It was like, yeah, you got classmates and stuff, but it's not easy to be in a class at 9 or 10, right? So like for me, I remember hanging out with my mom would hang out with her friend and then they'd have daughters and we'd peel out, right? We'd play spin the bottle and I was 9 or 10. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm let's kiss. Mm-hmm. But it's funny because my brother always tagged along. So, for instance, we had one girl that was my age and then a sister that was my brother's age, and we'd all play spin the bottle, right? Mm. And at a certain point, we'd break off. Like, okay, me and this girl, my age, and my brother and this girl, and he was younger than me. And me and her would be kissing. And my brother, I remember he still, like, I still give him shit about it. But this motherfucker, like, was a kid. Like, he's 3 years younger than me. So, like, he was kissing this girl, and, like, he burped in her mouth.
Oh, shit.
Because he's a dumb kid, right? But, like,
that must have been awkward as fuck.
So, like, we would play spin the bottle, and we would break off, and to me, I always thought, like, okay, I'm going to end up with this girl. Like, I was young, and I would think, like, oh, this is going to be my girlfriend. That's going to be who I'm with. And I liked her a lot.
It's long term.
So we'd do stupid shit, spin the bottle, kiss. We'd spend the night because my mom and her mom would hang out all night. We'd sleep over, and we would kiss. But like my mind never went to the next step. It was never like, oh, I'm gonna put my hand in her pants. It was always like, I'm gonna kiss you, and then when it's time to go to bed, we're gonna go to bed. We're kids. So like so from a young age, I was doing shit like that. I was playing spin the bottle. I was kissing girls at 9, 10, and I wanted to be with them.
Was that your first kiss? Spin the bottle?
Yeah, that was my first kiss.
Really?
And it's funny because my mom still knows her friend, right? And it's funny because we don't talk. Like I don't talk to her daughters and all that shit, right? But I thought like, okay, this is gonna be my girl because we were 9, 10, we were kissing, and I thought like, oh, this is my girlfriend. Like I thought in my head, like, oh, this is my girlfriend. We kiss every time we hang out. We're hanging out. We're kissing.
Dude, that is so funny.
But it was not anything. It was so innocent. Even though we were doing stupid shit. Like,
it is innocent.
Most kids don't do that, but we were doing that. But looking back, it was so innocent. Like we didn't know what the fuck we were doing.
Yeah.
We weren't connected to each other. We weren't like gonna be together forever. But like, so I was doing that, but I was still a late bloomer when it came to the actual sexual activity. It wasn't like I was like thinking, oh, I'm gonna actually make that move on her. Mm-hmm. But we never went there. But so just to say, at 9 and 10, I was doing that. I was kissing girls and stuff like that. But for me, I always thought like this is my girl. Like foolishly.
It was long term.
Yeah.
I feel you though, because my first kiss, like not a little peck on the cheek or a little like
first make out.
Yeah, my first actual make out like kiss. But I think was at like 10 or 11, something like that.
What grade? That was
middle school.
That was like fifth grade,
5th or 6th grade,
fourth grade,
like
5th grade.
But do you remember when the Brunswick, the bowling alley, would have the 24-hour?
Yeah, like cosmic bowling.
Bowling.
The close-ins where the kids would go in and you stay for 20. There. Yeah, your parents would pick you up in the morning.
Yeah,
it happened there.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Hey, so all you parents out there, don't take your kids on the 24-hour lockdowns. Because some shit goes down.
Brunswick is not safe.
My first kiss was there. You know how they have the locker room where you keep your shoes?
Yeah.
Probably your bowling ball or whatever. And there's a locker room next to the bathrooms.
Yeah.
It happened right there. And I remember.
Did you rush her or did she rush you?
It was mutual.
Oh, okay.
Because we were both there. We both were like, hey, I'm gonna do it this weekend. Are you gonna go this weekend? It was kind of like a dance invite. Like, hey, we're going to go to the dance. Are you going to go so we can hang out and stuff like that? And we both went, and we're all, I think they had roller skates at that time too. No, I'm lying.
Fuck no.
No.
At the bowling alley?
No.
That's a no-no.
No.
It was shoes.
That's a no-no.
It was definitely shoes.
Yeah, no roller skates.
Never in the history.
Roller skates and bowling don't mix.
Never in the history of bowling alley is there ever fucking roller skating.
Yeah, no, I don't know what you're thinking.
So,
this isn't Skate Express.
I guess something else happened.
But they did have
skates.
Skate Express events.
This sounded like a lot like a dream now. Like,
No.
Okay, so wait, was this real?
I know.
So
was this
we
real?
had the lockdown, the cosmic bowling lockdown and all that stuff.
Okay.
And it was in the locker room.
Bowling and arcade go together.
Yeah, they
Bowling
do.
and arcade. I
But not bowling and skating.
No.
didn't spend no time in the arcade.
Or bowling, it sounds like.
No, I did bowl. But it was in the locker room.
You horn dog, motherfucker.
And we both like, I don't know if we both like agreed to it. And we both went to the locker room and was just like, we're just going to kiss right here. And it was just a kiss. It was just something so simple as just a kiss. It was my first time. I know what the hell I was doing. I had never like kissed a fruit or anything like that before this. So I'm pretty sure I slobbered all over her face. But it was the most like sensual and dramatic like first kiss I've ever had in my life in the locker room of a bowling alley.
You know what? My first kiss was in the classroom playing Dare. My first makeout. This was I think 7th grade. And I remember it was like a substitute teacher, obviously, and you know, when they substitute teachers, they just kind of like, all right, here's an assignment, or I don't give a fuck, just hang out until it's time, until your next classroom. So it was one of those where we're all basically hanging out on the corner of the classroom. It was a group of us, and we were playing Dare, and one of them dared me to kiss a girl that I wasn't physically attracted to, but I've never kissed anybody. So it was one of those like, well, fuck it, like I want to know what's all about. Like I never actually like made out with anybody, so go full blown, start making out, and again, like you said, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, but I didn't slobber. It was more like she started sticking her tongue down my throat, and I was just like, all right, like. But I'm at the same time I was enjoying it because like
It was a woman.
it was a girl, and then it was
a girl.
I had my eyes closed, so I was like, fuck it, I don't really see her, but I feel like
When's
the
your
lips,
first
the
time?
tongue, and like it felt nice, and we're going at it. And for a while, like in the middle of the fucking classroom, and there's people staring at us, so it was kind of weird, awkward, but at the same time, like I just went for it. I said, fuck it, you know, like
It's your first time.
yeah, it was the first time. It wasn't with the girl of my choice, but it is what it is. And like, and then that was that. It wasn't like I felt like, all right, cool, now she's my girlfriend. And I was like, all right, cool. I got that out of the way. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not doing that again with her, but
Now I can progress in life.
I can. Yeah, I was like, all right, cool. I can knock that off my bucket list type of thing at that age. You know, I was like, all right, cool. Like I know what that's all about now. But that was like my first like makeout session, and I think like after that it was always like more like nervous and dare games that kind of kept pushing me towards like progressing, and that because I remember my first time putting my hands down like a girl's pants was like playing dare, but this time it was like walking back from home. There's like this wash area or what we call it the wash, but it's like basically like where the water goes, right?
It's a wash.
The wash?
Everybody's listening. It's like a wash.
Is that what they called it?
Yeah, it's a wash.
Okay, so the wash. So we used to walk through the backside, and on the backside there's like a fence that we used to always jump over to get into our neighborhood. So we used to hang on that backside, and I was there to put my hands down a girl's pants, and she was what, like a year, maybe 2 years older than me. So she was like a couple years, I think she was already in high school and I was in middle school. And the fact that she was even hanging out with us is like weird, but nonetheless, I didn't care.
Neighborhood.
So I remember sticking my hands down my pants. I'm thinking, all right, I don't even know what the hell I'm gonna feel, like, or what to expect. I remember feeling nothing but like pubic hair. That's all I felt was pubic hair, and I'm like, this isn't so fucking amazing. Like it just feels like
Like hair.
hair. And I'm like, all right, like, and I put my hand out, like, okay, like, I feel like so like, well, this isn't so fucking amazing, like. And they're like, bro, smell your fingers. I was like, I don't know. I don't smell anything. Like, I don't know.
It was.
But for me, that was my first time. And at the same time, it felt like, all right, cool. I got that out of the way. But at the same time, I didn't know what I was really feeling for.
What to expect.
Yeah, what to expect. Now I know. Obviously, now I'm like, oh, you fucking idiot. Like, you just didn't go far down.
You gotta dig deeper.
Yeah, a little deeper. Like,
Dig a little deeper.
yeah. But at that age, I was like, all right, cool. Like, all right.
You just,
Wander around a little bit, move my fingers, like, all right.
you just touched the surface.
Yeah, surface, little pubic hair, like, all right.
He didn't feel no wet.
A bikini line
No.
all the way.
Yeah. But that was like my first time doing that as well. Like, and it's funny because, yeah, at that age, it's like nothing but dare games. And
Yeah, it's innocent, but not innocent fun.
yeah.
I always felt like when I was in junior high, all the shit I did was like nervous and all that bullshit. I always just felt like that was like getting me ready for high school.
Mm-hmm.
Like I thought high
Yeah.
school was where it happened.
Yeah.
Like that's just what I thought. Like I can play with a girl's titties in junior high, but I always felt like when I have sex, it's not gonna be with you, it's gonna be with these high school girls. So because there's like, I feel like when you're young, and this is where it's different because like you had people that you knew, right? Like that you hung out with your like during that young age, where like you had one-on-one time. For
What do you mean?
like the fact that you were alone with a girl at that age where you lost your virginity wasn't normal for us to do. Like we didn't hang out with girls on our own time,
No.
like one-on-one or like, you know, like in that
Yeah.
kind of setting. So all I had was like classroom girls, lunch and shit like that, like or girls you liked in junior high, but you didn't get alone time with them really.
No.
So like I always felt like okay, alone time comes later. Like so I always envisioned high school being like that next step where like okay, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen next year. Like when I was 8th grade, I'm like, oh, next year things are gonna open up. Like it's gonna be a lot easier to get alone time, dates.
Yeah.
You know, because I remember going into high school thinking like, okay, you're gonna have to ask a girl on a date to get her alone. You know,
Of course,
but
yeah.
not really. Like you just gotta hang out with them when you get to high school. But like in junior high and all that, I didn't think like, okay, I'm gonna have some alone time with this girl. Because especially I think when you're young too, in junior high, you're looking at certain girls and they're like the hottest girls in school. And those are the ones you really want. right? There's
Oh,
like
yeah.
there's like 4 of them that are like the hottest girls in school. It's apparent that they're the hot ones, and usually they're the older ones.
Yeah.
And then they go to high school, like
Yeah.
they leave your school,
Yeah.
and they go to high school, and you're like, okay, these girls are cool, but those girls are older. They're probably ready,
More popular.
but
yeah.
like age wise, you're like, they're probably ready to do something else.
Mhm.
So like you kind of, I know I did. I kind of looked at them like, okay, those are the ones that are going to be into it. So I always waited like mentally, and on top of that, being too nice of a guy, I was never pushy with things like that, you know.
Yeah,
'Cause
I never pushed anything either.
Yeah, you know, and guys can be very aggressive or
Yeah.
very like assertive when it comes to sex, and just horn dogs,
Yeah.
you know, at a young age. But like I was always like really nice. That was like always like who I was. Like I'm gonna be nice to this girl. Because if you're flirtatious with a girl,
Yeah.
it usually entails like being nice and sweet and
Yeah.
you know. So like I wasn't ever like trying to push too hard. So like I always just thought high school is where you can open up and they're ready.
High school is where you find yourself. So
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
right.
And I always thought, you know, you always thought some experienced girl was gonna be like, oh, let's do it,
Yeah.
you know. But in junior high, it was never like that. It was always like hot girls, girls you're attracted to.
But it's never like the older one. I mean,
Well,
it is, but on a neighborhood that I used to live on, and I don't know if any of these girls are listening. I think one of them might be listening, but there was like a group of girls on the block where we would all apparently, because the other night we were hanging out with this one chick
mm-hmm.
and your brother
Mm-hmm.
at your house.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Now you know where I'm going.
Yeah.
And apparently, with this group of girls on the block that I used to live on, apparently I was a big deal. According to this chick, I don't know if I was a big deal, but there was a set of twins, and then there was this other chick, and then another one that lived up the street, and we would all hang out. And apparently, every time I mowed the lawn or every time I was outside, it was a big deal that I was there. And we eventually got into somebody's jacuzzi in their backyard. I don't know whose jacuzzi it was, but we started playing Dare, like Alex was saying. And that was potentially, I still to this day, I've never had a threesome, but that was potentially a threesome that I almost had. And it went to kissing, and it went to, I even shouted out to the girls that my back window is always open, my room window. So come crawl across the wall and come to my window because my window's always open. That's where I thought my maturity level on sexual was like, come through and let's get it in. Come through my window at any time. It doesn't matter. And
Good dog.
I know I'm such a hoe right now, but it was never like they weren't like the popular chicks. They weren't like, you know, like, oh, I have to have that one. It was always like, hey, there's some chicks that are interested in me.
Yeah, but see, proximity helps. Alex, how many apartments have I lived in since you know me?
Too many to keep
Countless,
track of.
right?
Yeah, too many.
So like I didn't have a neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like the one consistent neighborhood was yours.
Yeah.
And there wasn't much on the neighborhood.
No.
There was a girls' home that we tried to tap into at a certain age, but for the most part, I grew up in
I fucked
apartments.
around with one of them, but not like sexually, but yeah, kind of.
You know, so it's like I grew
up there, but
not
sexually.
sex, but everything else kind of in between.
yeah, you know, so I moved around a lot, like different apartments, and yeah, there's girls there, but like never like where they knew like you didn't make connections like to hang out and oh, this is the block and this is where you live. I like Alex said, countless. It's like honestly, I don't even fucking remember everywhere I lived.
Always moving around. Yeah.
Always moving around. So I didn't have like that kind of dynamic either. So like my whole life I grew up with just shit changing all the time. So it was like, okay, this thing's gonna go nowhere. And even if it was gonna go somewhere, I was so oblivious to the fact that it could. I was like, oh no, she's not like, she probably likes my company, but
That's friends with benefits right away.
see, that's where you that's where your head goes. For me, I was like, I'm not gonna be here long enough.
No. Yeah. I mean, For me, I mean, this is another thing I want to bring up to you guys. All right. So I'm gonna start this with a question, but then I'm gonna give my point of view, or my story, my side. The question is, growing up, has there really been like girls that kind of would throw themselves at you, giving you the opportunity to go all the way with them, but you don't really follow through with it because one, you just not really feeling them, or maybe you just weren't ready at the time, or overall just maybe, I don't know, like, because for me, I had plenty of girls like at an early age that were at throughout the time right before I actually lost my virginity, where they actually throw themselves at me, like gave me plenty of opportunities where I could have gone all the way, but decided not to for many reasons. Like I was like too nervous, or I just didn't quite find them attractive enough. Because I don't know, in the back of my mind, I feel like they had to meet a certain standard, and that's always been like my plague. Like I've
You're
always,
still
even
the
till this
same
day,
way.
yeah, I know.
And that's a good word for it because it is a plague.
Yeah,
Well, it's because he had all those magazines.
no,
He had,
no.
he had,
The Maxim.
he had
No.
Maxim,
Yeah.
FHM. and all that
I'm
bullshit.
not putting them up to like supermodel standards. Like no, that's not the thing.
No, but you had a like a idea of a like sexual hot woman.
Well, I had an idea of a girl. Like I had girls that I was attracted to in school growing up. So essentially, like I kind of wanted to move further, but other girls that would kind of give me like jump at me and kind of say, "Hey, I want you" and stuff like that. I guess didn't quite hit that like physically for me, or I wasn't like, I could have. I just said, "Fuck it." That was the whole point. I could have, but something in me kind of just wanted to hold off and just say no, and that was a big problem for me. So I could have long time ago, but I just kept holding off. I guess for that, just that right girl, that perfect girl, like where I just felt comfortable with, or I just felt like I was attracted to enough, type of thing. But I remember there was one girl where she was a year older than me in high school, and I was attracted to her. But what happened on that case, I bitched out. She literally told me, hey, like she caught me staring at her, right? I didn't really know who she was, but she sat behind me. And she would always wear these little mini skirts, like these skirts. One day, like she's right behind me and I'm so bored in class, I literally just like drop a pencil.
Oh, and you got a little peek.
And I went down and I straight took a peek. And she totally caught that. I was trying to be slick, but
didn't work.
no.
He threw his pencil like
No.
Shit.
It was like,
Smacked
I was
it
like,
off
because
the
I was playing
table.
with the pencil and like, I was like, oh, I dropped it. And then like, bent down. I took a big peek, probably too long than I should have.
Yeah.
Because I was like trying to look, but I caught a little bit of panty and I was like, all right, cool. Like, but at the same time, I was like scared. I was like, shit. She caught it.
Yeah.
She totally saw what I was doing. Of course. So instead of like the typical thing where you're expecting, oh shit, I got caught, she's gonna fuck get mad. No, if anything, she then caught me, like she sent me a message, it's like, hey, like, I saw what you're doing. I saw what you were peeking. She goes, but
She sent you a message where?
like wrote it down, like a piece of paper, and then
Because she didn't text you.
no, I didn't have her number.
Well,
Obviously.
she probably couldn't text you back in the day because we didn't have that.
I did.
What age?
What?
High school.
Oh shit,
Dude, I still had a pager in high school.
No, he had a Nokia.
I had a Nokia.
He had a Nokia.
Oh,
He had
dude,
Old Faithful.
I still had a pager.
I had an old school flip phone with like a mirror on it, type of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, for the. to
Oh,
take
actually no, that
pictures?
was before that. Actually, I had like
You had a
Nokia
brick.
block.
You had
Yeah,
a
the brick.
brick
Oh, the actual brick.
with Snake.
Yeah, no, it's Snake.
Oh,
yeah.
with the Snake.
Yeah, the old school
The
way.
Nokia.
Where you didn't have to look. You could just sit there and like, you just knew that each number 3 taps was like
Yeah.
one letter.
Right.
Where you could just sit there like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2,
Dude, no,
1.
I still had a pager.
It was back when Singular was around.
Yeah.
It was a
Yeah.
Singular Nokia.
No, not me.
So basically, she passed me over this note. The note said basically like, hey, I caught you. I knew what you were doing. I swear, I started reading this instantly. My face just felt flush. I was like, holy shit, I just got caught. So I'm reading through this, and she basically says like, don't worry, I'm not upset. I actually find you're cute. She goes, meet me outside and we can talk.
Under the bleachers.
So I met her outside the
She did
classroom.
this with the note too.
He's like, smell the note.
Here's my scent.
Smell the note.
So I met her outside the classroom, and she tells me, "Hey, I think you're cute and this and that." And she said she was interested in meeting me out by a certain area in the high school where it was like there. I guess there was no proctors at a certain time and day.
There's always that one location.
Yeah,
There's always that
had
one
this location, and she said that she would make it interesting for me and whatnot. And my mind was just blown. I was like, "What does that even mean?" Like, all right,
That was your first time with the older chick, apparently.
it would have been. The problem was I bitched out.
Oh, you ran away.
I didn't even show up. That's the problem. Like I was just like, I don't know, man. Like something just kind of like I got scared.
Dude, that is crazy because I was always the one, like, if a chick wanted to make out under the bleachers, so to say, or that secret location, I was always there.
Yeah.
And there was always the chick that ran away.
That's always been with me, my case. But I feel like because she was older than me and she was actually attractive, that it was like that girl that I was like kind of that because I found her hella attractive, but I don't know, like something like I think when earlier you guys brought up like, oh, were you thinking about how big is your dick and this and that, like I never used to think about that, but then now I'm like, fuck, what if I'm not like that's when
J.
it just
Cole. It
yeah,
was the J. Cole scenario.
It literally just kicked in, and I was like,
enough?
fuck, I don't know if I'm ready for this, and like, and I got so stuck in my head that I couldn't get out, and I didn't even show up. After that, she stopped talking to me. Like that was it. I fucked up.
I'm sure she did. You ran away.
Yeah.
I mean,
I bitched out.
Yeah, you ran away.
I bitched out. I didn't even show up.
I didn't want to say you bitched out, but you ran away.
No, I didn't run away because I didn't even show up.
He straight bitched out.
I just bitched out.
All right.
Had I been there and I saw her coming, I'm like, oh fuck, and then it was just like I wasn't even there. Like it was like a good opportunity to see, just to progress, but it was one of those like I guess I just wasn't ready. You know, like, and it's funny because at that age you're thinking like, hell yeah, like I can't wait, and you know that's a lot of times that's what you think about all through class because it's fucking boring. Like, damn, you're like daydreaming about this girl and that girl and like the things you would do to them or do to you, and like you just start fantasizing. And then when it comes down to it, it's like, yeah, man, that's that funny. That's the one time it happened, and then really it was the last time it happened. After that, it was like I just kind of beat myself up about it.
Beat yourself off.
Yeah.
Or beat yourself off about it.
Either way, it was like that was like the first time and only time that's ever happened to me. But because I remember
I never thought like that.
there in between, like I've always had girls come up to me and tell me like, and I remember there was another situation too where there was a girl that threw them on me, and I could have had her at any point I wanted, and I kind of played with her. I feel bad now because I know I didn't. She was attractive to a point, but I didn't really want her. But
I would have played with her too.
hey, I played around with her and this and that, like, but I never really took her serious. No, I did play with her.
Oh, okay.
Never actually went all the way and had sex with her, but there was plenty of times I could have, but I guess I didn't want it either. Like I felt like arrogant of myself where I was like, nah, I'm too good for her. That's one time too that was another low point where I was like, I almost like play with her, and now I think about like that wasn't right on my part, but there was that point where I bitched out, and there was a point where I had it and I could have, but I kind of just took control of that, and then I just kind of let her. I think I just enjoyed her wanting me and just kind of following me all the time. I mean, even when she had a boyfriend, I remember this was a girl we went to a party with, and she had her boyfriend there. And the boyfriend was watching me while she was all over me and kissing me and wanting to have a dance with me. It was on her birthday. And then we ended up in the pool because we got so fucked up. And she's like, oh, yes, because I remember we just like took our clothes off on our boxers and just jumped in the pool. Yeah, so it was me and another buddy.
Nowadays too.
We're just in the pool swimming. And she's like, oh, you guys are swimming? She literally went, put her bathing suit on and came back out and just jumped in the pool with us. Her boyfriend the whole entire time was just watching. Like, we were dancing on the dance floor where she was literally all over me everywhere throughout the whole night, and then in the floor in the pool, and then she was like on top of me and like holding me, and we're making out, and her boyfriend just watching. It was like the one time I felt like a badass, like cool, but at the same time I felt like I think about like, dude, I was an asshole. Like That's fucked up. I can't believe I. But then again, the boyfriend was a little bitch. Like, dude, he should have stepped up and said something to me. He should have done
we were kids,
something.
though.
And the whole time I remember, because he was an emo kid. I remember him just peeking out around the corner, like, oh my god. And I can see him, like,
What's going on?
I'm seeing him, like, and I'm laughing it up, and I'm loving it. Like, dude, this is fucking hilarious. I think it would have gone a lot further had my parents not shown up, because that was back in the day where we used to go out parties here and there, and my parents would come pick us up.
Of course, yeah.
So my dad's like, all right, you guys are done. Like, it's time to go home. All right. I'm like, I gotta go. What do you mean you gotta go? Like, we just got started in the pool. Like, I know my parents are here. I gotta go. And at the same time, I'm thinking, like, oh, that's funny. I'm laughing. Like, it is what it is. I'm sorry. And she goes, oh my God. And like, so she got upset, but we left. But it's like, I've been on two sides of the spectrum, right? Where I'm like, I could have had a chance with her. It's easy. Would have been easy. And I don't think I would have been like, as like, you know, like where I feel like the sense of chasing somebody versus somebody throwing themselves at you is more, feels better, right? It's at least for me. Like, I like the sense of having to work for it versus somebody just throwing themselves at me. And then on the other side, where I had a girl that tripped me out, that the fact that she even, I feel like, was at a different lane than I was, right? Outside my.
Yeah, she was out of your league.
Out of my league,
Yeah.
in a sense. And at the same time, then she's coming at me. And on that, I feel like that pressure, that the fact that I saw that way, that she was out of my league, that scared me.
I had one of those too in the block where she was older. She's always older than us, where it was like, and even though too, she was cute back in the day, and she was always older. And I always thought, I don't know if the other kids thought, but I always thought, I was like, damn, she's cute. Like, what if I got with her? Like, that'd be so dope. And she's older and she's cute. And now I think I've seen her Instagram nowadays, and I'm like, oh, I was interested in that. Like, holy shit. Now, given first times, did you guys ever get, like, air quote, married in, like, elementary school? Do you guys ever have that? Like, even friends that were, like, held those, like, little marriages?
No.
No?
No, not like ceremoniously.
No.
Dude.
But I mean, there was definitely girls that, like, I mean, you're talking about elementary, like girls you chased because you thought they were cute. Yeah. So like you would do that kind of shit.
Yeah, no, literally in my elementary day, it was like a marriage. Like, we actually had like a ceremonial type of thing where we even exchanged, I think it was bracelets. I don't think it was a ring. I think it was bracelets. And we had an actual marriage. Like, I was married at, 10 years old?
So you got into a couple marriages.
Apparently, I've got through a couple. And I just reconnected with that same chick. I remember her name, and she came up on my suggested people on Instagram, like recently, like in the past month, I would say. And I was like, holy shit, I know who that is. And she looks the same, and she aged well. She aged well. She looks just like she did as I remember. And that was the one that we got married.
Yeah.
We both got married, holding hands and stuff like that. But that led up to, do you remember your first time asking a girl out? Like, not asking out. Oh, our age, we say asking out. And that means boyfriend, girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember the first time you asked someone out, like, to be your girlfriend?
Well, let me just say this. In regards to what you're saying with the whole, like, you saw a girl and then later on in life, you're like, fuck, I can't believe I was into her. I'll just say this. I always wanted, like, to me, like, and this, I think Alex can resonate with this. I always wanted what I wanted. It wasn't like what was in front of me, what was there, what was easy. It was always like, I want this girl.
Yeah.
So like you spend a lot of energy towards that. And I'll say this, early in high school, I asked out a few girls that just fucking shot me down.
Yeah.
Like a motherfucker.
Oh yeah.
Like girls that I thought were just beautiful. Like in my head, I was like, beautiful, beautiful girls. I always wanted like the hot chick. I remember in high school, like this girl on the soccer team, I asked her out. She's like, "Nah," I don't. But that's because they were thinking about other types of people, right? Like it wasn't me. But it's funny because like I got shot down a lot, and it's because I was always shooting for like I knew them, right? That's like in high school, you got to kind of know them before you ask them out. But I asked out a few girls that I thought were really cute and got shot the fuck down, like completely, which prolonged my waiting period for getting into a relationship and losing my virginity because I wanted a certain few girls, right? And I spent my energy towards them. And sometimes they had boyfriends. So like you had to play the waiting game because you're like, oh fuck, that's the girl I want. Because you think like, okay, it's a matter of time before they're single.
Yeah.
In high school. But I got shot down a lot early on because I was aiming for the specific girl that I wanted.
Definitely been there.
And I got shot down a number of times with girls that I think were great. Now, to your point, seeing them now, I haven't seen them like on Instagram or anything, but I'm thinking like, damn, imagine if I would have fucking got with them and ended up with them, because people have met in high school and ended up together. And I'm thinking like, damn, imagine if I would have stuck with them. But I was so like wrapped up in that whole like I want what I want thing that it prolonged everything, you know? So when I first asked the girl out, it was so nerve-wracking because it's like, okay, you build this semi friendship, right? And then when you think about asking them out, the whole pressure comes down to like, if they say no, I'm probably not going to talk to them anymore because I made it so weird, right?
It's an embarrassing word.
There's like this awkwardness that's going to follow that when they say no.
Yeah.
And it's no fault to theirs that they got to tell you no because they just don't want it. But for you, you like them. If you asked them out, you liked them. You worked up to it. You planned it. You knew exactly when you were going to ask them. You were anticipating that moment. And then when you asked them, they said no. You're like, oh fuck! Like this is not what I was expecting and not what I was hoping for.
Right.
So now I got to be done with you. So like that's a good question because it's like I remember the first time I asked a girl out, I was like completely 100% thinking like, oh, she's gonna say yeah, because we flirt, we talk. She seems into me. She's cute. I'm not a bad looking dude. We're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Asked her out. She's straight up no.
Say no.
Straight up no. And it's like, damn, I put all my eggs in this basket. Like I don't want no other girl on campus except for you. All I want is you. And then they're like, no. You know, I'm not. I don't really want to be with someone, or I don't want to. I don't want to get into anything. And you're like, fuck, because you put all of your eggs in that basket. So now it's like you're kind of shattered from that experience, you know.
Yeah.
So like I got shot down a number of times with girls I thought were just cute as fuck because I was striving for what I wanted. Because there's girls out there that like will give it to you, but you don't want them because you're like, yeah, I know you're there. But this one here, like she seems interested, but I'm not 100%. I'm like 50% sure that she like would be with me. Yeah. But not really because she said no.
Yeah, there's that thrill, that chase a little bit. That's that you have to work for a little bit. Like
and that flirtatiousness that goes
the
between.
Uncertainty.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas like you're not sure how, because you obviously you have these girls that you can if you want it. But then you have this other girl where like, I don't know. And I think that's what captures your attention. You're like, there's no certainty there. Like, yeah, I've been there too.
That's funny though, because I mean, I was rejected the first time too, and it wasn't in school like yours was. It was on the block. There was always this chick at the end of the block, and we always ride our bikes or whatever, purposely around there, showing off, doing wheelies, just past her house. My first time asking out a girl was on a dare. And my friends on the block were like, I dare you to ask her out. I dare you to ask her to be your girlfriend. And so I built up the courage and I was like, all right, I'm going to do it. So I went up to her garage because she was out there and she was just watching us. And I asked her, and this is where I fucked up as a kid. And I was like, the guys dared me to ask you out. You know, would you want to be my girlfriend and go out? She shot me down based on that. She was
What?
like,
Yeah.
she was like, well, if it wasn't on dare and they didn't dare you to do it, I would have said yes. As at that age, I was like, oh man, I kind of fucked up,
Yeah.
and I shouldn't have said that. But I was so unfiltered as a kid and unaware of what was going on, where I just said that out loud, and I was like, oh, they wanted me to dare, they dared me to ask you out. I don't.
Yeah.
Me thinking now, I'm like, dude, why did you say that? That could have been good for you.
You see that TikTok challenge that's going around right now, where like they'll call someone, and then when they pick up the FaceTime, they're like, "Hey, can I call you back? I'm really busy right now."
Yeah, I've seen
Okay,
that.
so on TikTok right now, they're doing that where like they'll FaceTime you,
Yeah.
Purposely call you.
they'll call you,
Okay.
and then once you answer, they'll go, "I'm busy right now. Can I call you back?" And they're like, "Yeah, okay."
The person's confused, like
They're like, "You just called me."
You called me.
Yeah.
So they literally would do that. In sixth grade, someone dared me to ask a girl out, and I want to apologize to the girl. I don't know her name now, but they dared me to ask her out. So I asked her out in class. I was like, "Hey, you want to be my girlfriend?" She's like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "No, I'm good."
Shit.
That was the dare. It was like ask her out, and then when she says yes, tell her no. So like I did that where it's like stupid as fuck.
Where she would have said yeah, you would have said never.
Like she was one of those girls that would have said yeah regardless, right? So like when she says yes, tell her no. So like I and she was the fucked up thing is she was sitting behind me. So I turned around in class. I was like, "Hey, do you want to be my girlfriend?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'll be your girlfriend." Because we kind of talked a little bit, right? Just normal shit. And she's like, "Yeah, I'll be your girlfriend." And I was like, "No, I'm good.
No,
I'm good." And she was so pissed off, and I feel so bad about it now, thinking about this conversation, because I did that to her.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine what that feels like.
Oh yeah.
It must feel like shit.
Imagine the impact you probably did
yeah.
long term.
And that's why I feel like shit for it, because I'm not that kind of guy, but it was a dare.
Right.
It was like, I didn't want to be with her. So the fact that they gave me the out when they dared me, like, okay, regardless, she's going to say yes, but tell her no. I was like, okay, yeah, no problem. I'll ask her. She'll say yeah. And I'll tell her no. Not thinking about what she was going to feel. Right.
Right.
So that was like sixth grade where like people were trying to like link up and be boyfriend and girlfriend. So like I was not only like the nice guy, but I was also a dumbass.
Yeah.
Like, so you got all those factors playing into
you
it.
do whatever your friends told you they want.
And that's the same.
To do.
That's the same thing with you asking her out and be like, "Hey, they want me to ask you out." She's like, "Well, you fucked up because I would have been with you." But
had you not had said, "Well, they dared me,"
Yeah.
I would have actually been with you.
Yeah.
Especially because in those days, what was more important to us was being like being a certain person in front of our friends, like not being a bitch
yeah,
to our friends. So if they dare us,
So you couldn't take.
you got to
there.
do it because you want to be a bitch.
yeah.
You got to show up, and that was very important to us more than who's somebody else's feelings. And that was the worst part.
And I say and I tell this story in a very nice way.
Yeah,
But I didn't tell her no in a nice way.
I can relate to that story.
I could.
What'd you say? Fuck you, no.
I was like, this is not who I am. This is not who I've been. But it was a dare.
Yeah,
I said, "Hey, do you want to be my girlfriend?" She said, "Yes." And I said, "Fuck no."
oh shit.
I was like, "I'm good." And I turned around and like all my friends were busting up laughing. And what a piece of shit I was
Yeah,
for doing that. But that's the pressure.
yeah,
Because you want to go through with the dare. You want to be cool with your friends.
Yeah.
You don't give a fuck about anything else.
no,
So I'm sorry. Like, she don't remember me, or maybe she does. But
Maybe she did.
that's not who I was.
right.
I didn't want to be that guy. But I have been in a situation where you were dared to be something, and you kind of just go with it. It's
Yeah.
fucked up,
Yeah.
and I'm sorry to that girl if you ever hear this.
No, I wasn't in that same exact situation, but this was later in high school, and this was you were there. You were kind of involved in this.
Oh shit!
Yeah. I think you know what I'm talking about.
Here we go.
I think I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, this situation, I feel the same way now. Looking back, that I apologize up front to this person if they listening, but nonetheless, like that was already done. Like I already apologized to her, so she already knows. But nonetheless, kind of same situation. But in this situation, it was more like it was like a double like a double trick
It was a setup for you, but it was also set up
for her as
yeah.
well.
Right,
But
okay.
none of us knew what was coming. Really, like I knew, but she knew, but we didn't. It was like one of those twisted where we had a group of friends on the back, kind of setting things up. It's the way it played out sucked, and I feel so bad to this day. I even told her like already that I apologize for the way it played out, but I made it look so bad in front of a huge group of people. I mean, like
I don't even remember this shit.
You don't remember this shit?
No,
but you know what I'm talking about.
I didn't live it, but I've heard this story.
All right. Well, this was in high school. I want to say we were either sophomore or junior year. I think we were juniors.
So juniors?
Yeah, we were juniors because I remember I was in a relationship with my ex-wife at the time. This is when we first started dating. So I was a junior. And this girl, actually no, this is right before I met her. So this is right at that time, but this is right before I met her. But we were always hanging out in a certain area. Prior to that, I think it was during the weekend. You were there. You and another buddy told me like, hey, this girl's gonna come up to you, and she's gonna ask you out, but she's gonna ask you out, and then when you show up, she's not gonna be there. She's gonna fuck with you. Like they set her up to set you up, type of thing, or they told her to set you up. It's like, if I were you, we're gonna let you know because we don't want you looking like an idiot. When she asks you out, you basically turn her down in front of everybody and make it look stupid in front of everybody. And I was like, okay. So in my mind, I'm thinking, all right, cool. My buddies are looking out for me. So she's expecting to ask me out and then make me look stupid. And then I was like, well, fuck that. I'm going to make her look stupid. So I totally played into it. So I remember we even brought a camera recorder too, I think.
I don't remember this shit.
Yeah, we brought a camera recorder.
I blacked a lot of shit at my life out. So
this was like all set up. These guys basically like prepped me and said like, all right, what are you going to say? So I remember sitting there and like thinking up of what I'm going to say exactly and kind of playing it back. So here comes that day and she shows up. And just like they said she would, like I didn't think she was going to show up. But we're hanging out like in our usual spot. And then all of a sudden, here she comes. She walks up to me. And I didn't know what she looked like. Once I saw her, I was like, oh, God damn, she's pretty. Like I would have so easily said yes. But I already knew what was going on. So in my head, I'm thinking like, well, no, she's just going to fuck with me. Like, I'm not going to let that happen. I don't want to look stupid. So she came up and she says like, oh, hey, like I've noticed you and I find you attractive. I want to know if you're interested, if you want to go out with me one day on the weekend, like this weekend coming up. We can go out for a movie. And this is where everything just goes to shit, right? I look at her and I was like, what? And I look over to my buddy next to me. I was like, wait, are you looking at me or are you looking at him? And she goes, I'm looking at you. I was like, well, because it's kind of weird because you're kind of cockeyed. So I can't tell if you're looking at me or him. And she's like, and that threw her off right away. It threw her off completely. She was like, wait, what? I was like, well, either way, no, I'm not interested. I was like, I would never go out with you. And she just like,
that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Alex.
She was like, what? And she just didn't know how to take that. And like, I remember her friend, I was like, oh, fuck you, Alex. You're a fucking dick. I can't believe you. But she's the one that wanted to set me up. Mm-hmm. Her friend. She was like, oh, like she wanted to make me look stupid, but then she got mad and started like cussing me out and everything. And her friend like walked away. Later on, I found out that she was so upset about the situation that she didn't go to class. She like ditched a couple classes and like was like crying about it. I later find out about it and I felt bad. So then I went and apologized to her. And then I found out later that the plan was that she was going to set me up, but she didn't, because after she saw me, she actually did find me attractive and she wanted to go out with me. So it was actually going to play out, but they did try to set me up. But it was one of those where it was like a situation where the friends got involved and they made a whole situation bad. And
it sounds like we saved you.
Kind of. Later on, we actually didn't start becoming friends and like talking more and spending more time together. And there was a possibility there. We could have, because she actually did like want to start dating, but at the time, that's when I started talking to somebody else, and I was more faithful. Like I was just like one person at a time. Like I started dating somebody. I didn't think anything was gonna happen at the time, and then when she showed interest, I was like, well, fuck, too late. I'm already seeing somebody. And I was never, for me, I was like, I didn't like the idea of like jumping around. You know, the other girlfriend at the time was at a different high school, so I could have had two different girlfriends, but I don't know. Like I was more of a one person at a time. Like, and I was like, I think that's just the way I was raised. Like, to me, it didn't feel right, so I couldn't. And then on top of that, it being troublesome for me, like,
yeah, that's hard.
Bouncing around with different girls. I was like, nah, I didn't want to deal with all that. So I was straight to the point with her. You know what? She did come over to the house a couple times and try to like flirt around with me, and then she told me like, hey, she was interested, and she came on to me and tried to kiss me, and I was like, you know what? I had to push her away. I was like, I'm sorry, like, but I'm seeing somebody. And then she felt like bad. She felt stupid, and she like then backed off, and that was that. But there was a possibility, and I did find her attractive, and I felt like a fucking dick for doing that to her in front of everybody, like a group of people. But
that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Was that your first time doing some shit like that?
Yeah. I feel like a dick. I mean, I feel like a dick right now. Even that past story I told you about, where the other girl with and her boyfriend, and because she was an attractive girl too, but I think, like we said earlier, the fact that she was throwing herself on me, and I guess it had a little bit of like that power thing. But I was young and immature. And like now I look back, I'm like, damn, I shouldn't have. I feel like I would like smack myself in the face, you know, like for being that way. Like,
see, I don't remember that.
What the fuck is wrong with you? You don't remember that?
Not really.
You're one of the ones that helped set it up.
Well, I think if anything, it sounded like I was looking out for you.
I mean, I think it just how played out, like where she was actually interested. But
no, see, the one unknown variable seems like she didn't know that she was going to be attracted to you.
Yeah, she didn't know what I looked like.
I think
I didn't know what she looked like.
If I had to guess, I might have thought like, okay, they're gonna fuck with you. Don't fall for it. Little did we know you guys would probably be attracted to each other. Because I don't think, and I vaguely remember, I didn't know the girl.
Yeah, I don't think you did.
So
I didn't know if you did or not.
So I didn't know if she was gonna be attractive or not. If she was gonna be attractive, fuck would I? Regardless, she's gonna set you up.
Yeah,
I don't fucking know. I don't remember.
But yeah, I did feel like a dick.
But getting back to the first, right?
The first.
Go ahead, Jose. You got yours first.
It did.
So enlighten us on the experience that you had.
On the actual first time?
Yeah. The first time.
The first time.
Which is the main topic of this episode. The first time.
Unlike women, I can't speak for women, but it wasn't painful. I'll tell you that much.
Well, I'm sure not on your part. I'm sure it was for her though.
Not on my part. I mean, it was nice. It was euphoric. It was something you don't experience, and you probably will never experience ever again.
The first time?
Yeah. You will never experience your first time ever again.
I feel like every time after was even better and better than the first time.
No, there's nothing like your first time.
I feel like, I don't know, for me at least, I feel like the first time was a little weird and awkward, and like, again, it's like, I feel like for the guys easier, and then the girls like usually not really fully prepared, so they're super tight, and sometimes you can't even fully get it in.
And it's totally emotional. But there's nothing like your first time. I will never experience my first time ever again.
True. But I think I personally, I feel like times after were better than the first time. Much better feeling. I mean, for me personally, though.
It's not much better. I mean, it's a different feeling. I mean, because, you know, I'm single now. So when I go mess around, it's something different. But there's nothing like your first time. Even reconnecting. And I will say now, and I know she's listening, she's going to be all excited about this, but my first time, if I was to do it again with my first time, it won't feel the same. Like, don't get me wrong. I know you're listening and it's going to be great, but But it's not going to be like the first time. You know what I mean? There's nothing like your first time. You can't get that experience again. Those nerves.
That's true.
The chills.
That will never be the same again.
Even the butterflies that go through your stomach, you will never get that again. You cannot experience that ever again in your life. Unless maybe if you go celibate for so many years of not doing shit, which I can't do, but maybe then, I don't know. But you can never get your first time back.
Yeah.
Is that what you wanted?
I agree with
Is that what you're tapping back on?
I didn't know it was gonna go that deep, but shit. But you know, Pineapple Express. Remember when he's like, I've only been with like 3.5 girls. She's like, what the fuck is the half? What's the half? And he's like, I don't know. I just felt like I can't say it's that because I would feel like a liar. I don't know what happened.
Where you faked it?
No. We're like, you didn't go all the way. So like my first time was not when I lost my virginity. So early on, like you practice safe sex.
Wait, but hold on. Wait a minute. How does your first time and not all the way?
Okay, let me tell you. So let me tell you. I would feel like a liar if I said it was. My first time, it was with this girl. And when you're young, it's like you want to be safe. When you're in high school, you want to be safe. So for me, I'm not 12.
Right.
So I'm. You don't give a fuck, right?
You don't want to pop any kids out at that age.
No, you.
Yeah. So you use a condom.
Right.
Okay. So the first time.
Well, I mean, you should, but I didn't.
The first time I had sex was with I had a condom on, and she was riding me, and the condom broke, and that was euphoric. Once it broke, it was euphoric.
Oh, because you actually felt.
Because I felt everything.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So when you're in high school and you want to be safe, of course you wrap it up. It's safe. It's good. It's all you know.
It's not, of course.
That condom broke. When that condom broke, I felt euphoria. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But shortly after that was like, we can't continue. Like, it's just broken. Like, we can't continue having sex. So we stopped. So like that was a few minutes in. The condom broke. It's probably because it was an old condom.
Okay.
Right?
So you actually did have your first time. Your first time doesn't necessarily mean that you finished.
No, I can't count that.
You actually did do it though.
No, I can't count that. It was a few minutes.
It still counts. You got it in.
Counts,
No. I can't count it because we literally stopped.
That's fine.
You still
No, I can't. For me, I can't count that. I have another story of my first if you want to hear that.
Okay.
But my first was the condom broke a few minutes in. And at that point, I was like, no, we can't. We both were like, oh, we can't do this.
Yeah.
Because we're in high school. We can't get pregnant. So all these fears run through your head. So we stopped. We stopped. She went home. We were at my house. So I went to bed. So I couldn't count that. So like that was 9th grade. Maybe like 9th grade, like between 9th and 10th grade. Right. So like I didn't count that. I never counted that. So as I went on with my life, I was like, that doesn't count. Like I didn't finish. We didn't really have sex. We started to have sex. But it was like, because you did things. You did foreplay. You did other things with girls. But that wasn't sex. So when I did this, I didn't count it as losing my virginity. Because how the fuck could I count that? If I was to walk away and they're like, oh, how was losing virginity? I'd be like, I don't know. It's fucking 3 minutes. Like shit broke. Like that to me wasn't losing my virginity. I didn't get far enough into it. So I never counted that.
Yeah.
So as time went on, like I said, you get into downloading porn, right? You go through high school and that's what you do. Like you learn about different shit through porn. So for my first time, I set up a camera. I set up a camera because the whole thing is set up, right? When you lose your virginity, when you're young, when we were young, like you planned it. Like it wasn't like, oh, we're gonna go to the fucking. We're not driving. We're not kids with cars and shit. So you plan it. So we planned it. I had a camera set up. She literally walked into the room and saw the camera set up because I had it kind of hidden. And on the footage, she was like, "Oh, fucking James!" Like she was like, "This motherfucker." So she moved the camera, and then I diverted it back out of the room. And I set the camera up somewhere different because I wanted to capture this shit, right? because I was a fucking idiot. I was a horn dog.
Yeah.
So I set it up somewhere different, and she was smart enough to turn the lights off.
Yeah, I remember that.
So she turned the lights off in the room, and then we had sex and everything, and there's blood everywhere, and I just remember thinking like, and this is just in the aspect of losing your virginity, when Alex said it's kind of awkward. For me, it was because I was having sex. Number one, she doesn't know what she's doing. I don't know what I'm doing. So she's writing me.
Yeah. And first
and
of all,
it hurts.
you tried to record it.
Yeah, but she wasn't mad about that. And I was neither. I was like, cool, she caught me. She turned the lights off. Cool. Whatever. We go through. She doesn't know how to ride me.
Of course.
And no, yeah, exactly. And that's fine. So like she's hurting me slightly, right? Because she doesn't know what she's doing.
Yeah.
And on top of that, it's like it's forceful, it's tight, it's bloody, it's not. So it's like the whole time it's like, fuck, okay, we're getting this done.
Yeah. And
the whole time she's moaning in my ear at a certain rhythm. The rhythm that she's writing me is because there's pain involved, right? So as she's writing me, there's like this constant like pain, like so her moans are like constant with the pain and the thrusting. So everything is like working as one.
Yeah.
And she's just in my ear, and it doesn't feel that great to me because she doesn't know what she's doing. So like the moaning and then the pain and the awkwardness is all like in rhythm. It's like the moan, and it's like, oh my God, like, okay. And it's longer than I want it to be because I have a condom on, right? I'm a kid.
Yeah.
So we have this, and then when we're finally done, I got blood all over me.
Oh shit.
Okay, I'm wearing a white shirt. I got blood all over my shirt. She gets up, and we have tried to have this moment for a couple of times now. So now she's happy it's over. I'm happy it's over. I'm full of blood. It's awkward. And then now because she, and I feel like a piece of shit, but you have this camera that's in the room with the lights out. So all you have is like 30 minutes of audio.
Of just noise.
Of moaning.
Yeah.
And just like a memory of like the awkwardness in the room. So like all you have is 30 minutes of moaning and rhythm.
Yeah.
The rhythm, right? So it's like that was my virginity. I lost my virginity then, and it was awkward and weird, and yes, it felt good to some aspect, but to the other aspect, it's like different than what you expect at our age. At our age, it was different than what I expected. I didn't expect it to be as awkward. I didn't expect it to be as painful. I didn't expect it to be as bloody. But all those things combined made it weird for both of us.
Yeah.
But not in a bad way. It was like both of us felt the pressure of like, okay, we're no longer virgins anymore.
We did it. We sacrificed and we did
exactly.
it. It was a sacrifice.
Literally, I was like, oh my God, my fucking shirt's ruined. But like, that's what I'm saying. Like for me, my first time was awkward, and I was completely out of line for setting up a camera, right? Because this is the dumbest thing you could ever do.
Not online. You were experimenting.
But I was into porn. Like I was into that age where I was learning about porn. So like I thought like, okay, if I can capture my virginity being lost, that could be cool. Like I thought it would be fun, lighthearted. And she found the camera. She even knew it was lighthearted. Like I wasn't trying to like fucking post it online or anything. I was not gonna do anything like that. But it was just I wanted to capture.
For one,
that
back
shit.
in the day, you're not gonna post it online because
there was no online.
Yeah,
right? There was nowhere to post it.
Yeah,
LimeWire or fucking BearShare or whatever it was.
It was for you just to look back on.
Exactly.
If you look back on it.
Exactly. And then on top of that, you think that you're gonna be with this person for the duration of your life.
Yeah.
To some extent.
You stuck to it. No, you thought about sticking to it. I actually stuck to it.
No, you stuck to it. I thought like, okay, if this is the girl, because I really liked her. I thought if we can lose a virginity together, that's a bond.
Yeah.
If we can now get past that point and have sex and prolong our relationship, that's a bond. So I thought like this is a long-term relationship type deal.
Oh yeah.
So I had no idea what I was gonna do with the video.
Yeah.
But I just that was my first fucking time, and
you wanted to capture it.
I wanted to capture it because I wanted to fucking like
look back,
vlog that shit. Like like that was
your
just
first
me.
time is never like your first time is never like passionate. I mean, well, it is in your head, but it doesn't come out that way.
It's just extremely sexual. Like that.
Yeah.
That's like
Because
as awkward.
It is awkward as fuck.
As awkward as it is, it's extremely sexual. Like, so you're excited.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's so much excitement in the room that like that's what carries you through that first time. And I don't know if it's like that with everybody, but for me,
You will.
I
You won't get that back.
I also didn't want to like force anything either. And that's why I let her ride me. And I feel like I'm being vulgar, but this is the topic, right?
Yeah.
I also wanted to let her ride me for the duration because I wanted her to control her pain level. I wanted her to control
Her excitement
how she
level.
felt.
Yeah.
I didn't want to like be aggressive and like just force some shit. So I was like, cool, you ride me, you go as far as you want for as long as you want. I'm going to finish when I'm finished, but you control it. So I did that. But that's why my first time was extremely awkward because I tried to film it. I thought it was going to be something else. It was good, but it was weird. It was different. It was almost like we were checking a box. Like, okay, virginity lost. Like it wasn't like passionate. There was none of that shit.
No, it was just get it done.
It was get it done, but get it done. And again, with somebody who I thought was somebody who I really liked.
Yeah.
And that was a factor for me too. That was my first experience with losing my virginity.
I got ketchup on my shirt,
And that- yeah. And that's why I can't count the first one. Because the first one was like 3 minutes, condom broke, we called it quits. Like we threw in the towel. Like, okay, we're gonna go home.
All right,
I'm going to bed. So I couldn't count the first one as actually like technically lose my virginity. And on top of that, again, like I said, me and Alex had a bet. Who's gonna lose it first? I couldn't also claim lose my virginity for the fucking 3 minutes to the condom broke.
Although it would have counted though.
Yeah, he would have counted it.
I was like, yeah,
But
you
I
got it
couldn't
in.
live with that shit.
Uh-huh.
I couldn't say, oh, I'm not a virgin anymore.
Yeah.
Because I sent her home.
Well, damn.
I mean, she had to go home anyways. But but like,
You were sending him home earlier than me.
we called it quits. We called it quits.
I mean, my first time was it wasn't.
I feel
Obviously,
like
I
an
didn't try
asshole.
filming it, so there's that. I mean, my first time was a little bit more passionate. It was in my bedroom, a little bit more quiet, secluded, and like.
I wasn't at home either, so by the way. I was at someone else's house. But go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
for me, it was like I had music playing and everything, and kind of try to set the mood and trying to make it like a nice first time. So, I mean, obviously, it was my girlfriend for a time, and
You Luther Vandross this chick.
I try to.
He Barry Whited her.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, I wasn't playing your typical sensual music. It was more like along the lines of 9 Inch Nails and
Chevelle.
Yeah.
You still set some music. You
Yeah,
try to set the
I
mood.
try to set the mood. And-
Alex was always a playlist guy.
But on top of that, I had to play music loud enough because I try to, in my head, for a while, I had her coming over to my house. Coming over, like
Oh.
coming over to
first
the
time.
house.
This is the
Yeah.
first time.
This is before.
We're talking
right?
about the first time.
So we hang out in my bedroom, and I would always crack the door. My mom never wanted me to close the door. She would get upset if I closed the door.
Of course.
So, and I'd always play music loudly
Mhm.
while we're in there. So we would be in there making out all kinds of stuff. But before then, I always play. Every time I was in my room, I always had the music up pretty loud.
Mm.
So my mom knew I was in my bedroom. And it's funny, like in my head, now I think about like, fuck, I was already like always thinking ahead. Like somehow I thought in my head, like, if I get my mom used to that, where if a girl's over, she's not gonna think anything different. Cause all of a sudden, like I have a girl over and I'm playing music loud. She's like, well, why the fuck is music so loud?
Yeah.
So
So you did it to make it a habit.
but I've had it like that before she started coming over. Like I've always just played the fucking music loud in my room. So I made it a habit so she didn't look for it. So I remember when she started coming over, I'd always crack the door and bump some music and while we're in there and basically instantly start, fooling around and this and that. And this is like after a while, like of doing that, when I finally started telling her like, hey, like, we've been dating for a certain amount of time. Like, I feel like we're ready. And she was like, no, but I'm not. Like, I want to wait till we get married, like to marriage. And I was like, well, I'm not for that. Like, I want to, before then. And on this part, I feel bad. Like to this date, where I pressured her into it. I basically kind of gave her an ultimatum, like, like, I'm sorry, like, like, I want to be with a girl where I can, have sexual relations with her. If it's not you, it's not you. And she obviously, like, cared enough for me that all right, then
She gave in.
She gave in. And in my head, like, at that time, I was like, oh, all right, cool, like, it worked. Now I think back, like, that's a fucking dick move.
Because you forced her.
I forced her.
It was rape.
Like, I kind of, no, it wasn't rape. I wouldn't go that far. It was consensual because she did consent. She gave in. I wasn't, like, forced myself. I told her, I gave her an ultimatum. That's the part I fucked up.
Yeah, so the rapists, they're like, I'm going
She
to
could
kill
have said
you.
no. See, I could say, like, I said, hey, either if we're going to continue this relationship, we got to have sex. Or if we don't have sex, then we're going to have to split up and I'm going to look for somebody else. I told her, like, this is kind of what I want. Like, I want to have a sexual relationship with a girlfriend. So, but in the back of my head, I knew that she was going to say yes. And she knows now that I feel bad about it. But when that's kind of how I set her up. Like, I told her, like, I gave her an ultimatum because I really wanted to, like, in the back of my head, like, it's something that I wanted because it's like that forbidden fruit. Like, I needed to get it over with.
Plus, it was like what you at that point wanted in life.
Yeah,
was to get that out of the way.
God damn, because everybody was talking about it.
Yeah,
that's like, and the topic on everybody's fucking head was sex all the damn time. Like, I wanted to go through with it and just figure out what the fuck this was all about. Like, what was so amazing about this? Like, obviously, everything else is fucking great. This has got to be, like, the fucking peak. So I remember finally I convinced her, and I tried to make it nice enough where it wasn't just like, all right, cool. Like, all right, let's do this. It was kind of like I tried to set it up. She come over to the house, and finally, like, she's like, all right, let's do it. And I remember I had a condom too and everything, and trying to put that on was kind of weird because that was the first time I put it on. It's not like I practiced putting on a condom. I just slipped it on. I was like, all right, I think this is how it goes.
Okay, yeah. No, go ahead.
All right. Well, I was like, I feel like this is how it goes. So I was like, all right. And I remember we had the lights off and the door cracked, music bumping. And I'm in the back of my head, I'm thinking, like, shit, I just hope we don't get caught. But I want to say, I don't think my parents are, oh, you know what? I know what we did. Okay. What we did was we were in the bedroom, and then we told my mom and dad, like, that we're going out for a walk. They're like, okay. So we went out for the walk, and when we walked out, I remember I closed the door, I locked it from the inside, closed it, and I left the music playing. So we walked out, went around, jumped the fence, and crawled through the window and back into the bedroom. And we went there, and then the lights were off already. So we slowly, it was short. It wasn't like a long, but I remember slipping on the condom and trying to get her, like, a little bit wet. Like, I kind of had an idea because obviously the porn and everything, like, it wasn't, I was just going to shove it in there, but it was slow, and it was, like, painful for her because I can tell she was, like, like, making these, like, groaning noises and stuff. And, like, she was like, Tommy, slow down. Like, don't just shove it in. So little by little, and kind of got it in there, and we got a couple pumps in and out. And, like, it was one of those, like, all right, I'm feeling this. But at the same time, it wasn't like, oh, like, amazing, like, feeling like, oh my God. It was just like, all right, this is cool. Like, I'm liking this. But at the same time, it's that adrenaline rush, or the fact that we're doing something when my parents were right next door. We got to be quiet, and the lights are off. I can't really see what the hell I'm doing. And she's, like, pretty much in pain. Like, it was, like, too tight for her. Like, she was too tight, and I can't go all out. So I'm just going, like, at her pace, and I'm going slow, and we're trying. So the first time was just very, like,
it's awkward.
Yeah, very awkward. Yeah. But it was also very, like, awkward. It wasn't bad though. It wasn't like, like, it wasn't. She was like, it was just more like for her just to meet what I wanted to do, and at the same time for me to say, all right, cool, I got it off, like, it's done. And then later on, like, I knew that we can kind of go back and little by little, like, And after that, we would. But the first time was just very like sneak around, very like had to be very planned out, had to be very like to point. And we knew we didn't have that much time because I mean, how long of a walk can we take? Yeah. So it was like, all right, like she was like, all right, I'm already sore, like it's hurting. Like, all right, so that is what it is. I didn't go the first time. It was just kind of like just to say I did it type of thing, got it out of the way. And but again, like my first time wasn't the best. I would say every time after that just kept getting better and better.
As it should. As it should.
Oh yeah. So like first time I was fucking nervous. It was just, I guess the best part was the adrenaline rush. The fact of like, oh shit, like that we're doing what we're doing. This is like
time limit and everything.
Time limit. It's forbidden. Like I'm doing it when my parents next door, like next bedroom over. I'm thinking, which I don't know if they probably knew like
they probably did, and
right?
just didn't really.
They heard your ass climb through the window,
right? Because I mean, how quiet could we have been?
Yeah.
So I know we're not ninjas.
They probably were like, well,
I mean, we felt like we were ninjas because we literally did the deed, and then kind of fixed ourselves back up, and then crawled back out the window,
came through the front door,
and then walked around, jumped over the fence again, and then like came through the front door.
Nah, they probably do.
So again, like they were in their bedroom, and I was like, all right, I just don't even want to see their faces like right now because like
they probably do, and they gave you that as like, all right, that's your first time, cool. My mom gave me a pack of condoms for my first time. It was like, all right, I know. Here's your pack of condoms.
That was my aunt for my birthday one year, and I was like, so like in front of my parents, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Oh, I was embarrassed too.
I was so embarrassed.
I was like, oh shit, she knows. Fuck.
I know. Yeah. I was like, what the fuck?
And she works in a hospital, so she got the big ass fucking.
Oh shit!
I feel like she gave me a sack of condoms. It was just like, here, I know you're doing it. Be safe. It was a lot. It wasn't a sack, but
yeah,
it was an oddly amount of condoms, and I was like, oh shit, my mom knows. Fuck. I was a little embarrassed, but they knew. They knew what you were doing.
Yeah. They knew for sure.
They knew.
All right. Well, I think that's a good place to end this one. You guys have heard everything that leads up to losing our virginity.
Yeah, for sure.
Losing our virginity. This was a fun time learning about, how things can be different.
Yeah.
And how we regret some of the things that we did as a young, horny, kid or a dumb kid. But this is why we have these conversations, so we can kind of look through and analyze how our life has gone. Yeah. But it's a good learning experience, and this is why life presents those opportunities for you to look back on and understand, how things have gone. And
laugh at. I hope people were laughing at us.
I hope so.
And not laughing at us, but with us. Like, my God, I did the same shit.
Because I know a lot of people can resonate with some of the shit that we talked about today, because we all grew up and gone through those experiences. And even now, kids are going through them. So we've all been there.
Yeah.
And if you're not there yet, you'll be there.
You will be there.
So, I mean, unless you're a 40-year-old virgin.
That's that's the part that scares me too. Like going out and having girls, I'm like, that's the part I'm like,
yeah.
That scares me. Like when it comes to that point, I'm like, I got to start.
Yeah.
As long as they're hanging out on the block.
Yeah.
They're
They don't have a block to hang out on.
And the second I see a kid that reminds me of you,
don't worry, I'll be there.
He's done.
Yeah, he's done. He's out.
I'll be there, and I'll recognize it, and he'll be done.
That kid's gonna disappear.
He for sure will.
Milk carton. You'll see him in the Walmart entrance, missing kids. But yeah, I think again, guys, for the Wolfcraft, we stopped by Stout House. Make sure you guys go check them out. Support your local breweries. Solario Home Base. They got all the great shit you want. Don't be fooled by what's going on out there with the other breweries. Sometimes you got to go to the other ones and check them out.
For sure.
Because we went to Rowdy's tonight. We went to Stout House. We always go to Solario. And you find a lot of good brews in these other places. So make sure you guys are not sticking to one place. Yeah. Support your local breweries. Don't go to the same fucking spot over and over. I know we say Solario is a home
spread the
base.
love.
Spread the love, because it's all about supporting these places and experiencing new brews.
Yeah.
That's the best part. You got an opportunity to branch outside of it. People are doing great shit.
Go to multiple. Have just one at each brew.
Exactly. You know, so
Brew hop.
brew hop.
For sure.
All right, so guys, you have been in the company of wolves, and if you guys have stuck with us this long, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
Make sure you guys share it with a friend. Anytime you guys share it, it's a huge deal for us. Make sure you guys are following us on social media.
Instagram.
And
I'm on Snapchat. So if you can find me on Snapchat, let me know.
Find this guy. But we're looking to expand, hopefully, YouTube in the near future. Make sure you guys are on there.
sure.
We want to vlog some of these experiences we have. And just much love to all the breweries that show us love out there. Every weekend we're out there trying to just build connections and stuff like that. So
out.
Thank you guys. Thank you, Stout House, for being great to us tonight. And we look forward to being back there again. But until next time, guys.
Until next time.
Until next time.
Peace out.
Peace.